Coming up on OU Nightly, fire danger and severe weather ripping through the state. Our OU Nightly meteorologists are tracking the latest.
Former President Donald Trump makes history in the courtroom today, the latest from New York. And as polls are open just a few more hours, what Ward 5 residents need to know before voting? This is OU Nightly.
False statements made to cover up other crimes. These are felony crimes in New York State, no matter who you are. We cannot and will not normalize serious criminal conduct.
Crowds gathered around the Manhattan courtroom today as former President Donald Trump was arrested and arraigned, the first former president to be formally indicted. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Cameron Joyner.
And I'm Dana Searles. We head right over to the newsroom where Jayden Brannon has kept up with Donald Trump's indictment today and has more information. Jayden?
Thanks, Dana. Trump has been investigated by the Manhattan District Attorney's Office in an alleged hush money scheme dating back to the 2016 presidential election. He's charged with authorizing and disguising payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels to buy her silence about an alleged affair. So far, Trump has pleaded not guilty to 34 felony counts of falsifying business records, including illegal conspiracy. Shortly after Trump entered the courtroom, the White House press secretary spoke on President Biden's behalf. Here's what he had to say.
Look, the president's going to focus on the American people like he does every day. He is not, this is not something that is a focus for him. He is going to focus on things like making sure that we continue to lower prices for the American people.
And Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt has shown his support for the former president throughout his terms. When asked about the indictment on Friday, this is what Governor Kevin Stitt had to say.
This justice system, if they're going to go after political opponents, I think Oklahomans and I think Americans, quite frankly, are just disgusted with that.
And I also reached out to the governor's office today for comment and have yet to hear back from them. Trump is due next in court in December, but his lawyers have asked that he be excused from the hearing due to security reasons. Back to you both in the studio.
Thanks, Jayden. And fire weather, a hot topic in Oklahoma today. About an hour ago, a grass fire started in Weatherford, Oklahoma. Let's take a look at this video from News 9 storm trackers. Multiple fire departments around Weatherford are responding to the fire right now, and evacuations are in process north of Interstate 40.
Now we know that Oklahoma is no stranger to those Oklahoma winds, but with that,
Oklahoma is now one of 5 states trying out a new contactless payment method for those using SNAP benefits. Carolynn joins us with this story and others in today's Science and Technology.
DHS says that in the coming years, this new method will help SNAP customers pay for groceries just by tapping their phone at checkout. They say moving to this method will provide a safer way of payment, reducing fraud. Oklahoma stores and customers can participate in the pilot program, which is coming out very soon. And 4 astronauts are headed to the moon, and NASA will send their first woman on this mission as well. Training begins now, and they say takeoff is in November of 2024. Now, this is very historic because 50 years ago was the last time man touched down on the moon. It was one giant leap for mankind. And for those concerned about paying way too much for a flight can now worry less. Google is testing a new program to make sure that the customer gets the best price possible. This program is said to monitor flight prices until the day of departure, and when the airfare goes down, you would get the difference back through Google Pay. This program only applies to travel within the U.S. And here's a little bit of history for you. The first phone call was made 50 years ago from a sidewalk on 6th Avenue in Manhattan. The phone was the size of a brick and weighed about 2.5 pounds. Can you believe that, Cameron and Dana?
I absolutely cannot. But speaking of, social media now has been in the spotlight lately, and now Twitter is on the chopping block with legal troubles of its own. We'll tell you why coming up.
That's right. Plus, we've seen some dry conditions today, but that could change in parts of eastern Oklahoma with chances of severe weather tonight. Carolynn Liberta is here to tell us what we could expect for the rest of the day.
That's right. We've got a chance for some fire danger and severe weather. I'll have the timing of all of those events and what will affect you coming up right after this. Well, welcome back to OU Nightly. We are talking about fire weather today. That's the big story. Looking outside on campus right now, though, we are still very humid. You can see 54% humidity. That's what's keeping us from being at risk for fire weather, at least for now, because the dry line hasn't passed us just yet. But if it does pass before we hit sunset tonight, we could be at risk for major fire damage here in Norman, Oklahoma. Now, 79 degrees outside right now, and this is what has been keeping us so dry and so warm. You can see not a lot of cloud cover out west, and here is that dry line. So as this moves eastward, that could be what could bring us that risk for the fire weather. Now, current temperatures outside in the metro right now, like I said, 78 here in Norman, 80 degrees up in OKC. Kingfisher hitting the 90s, and so these very warm temperatures are sitting out west because of that lack of cloud cover, and those warmer temperatures should be moving a little bit eastward as we head into this evening right before sunset, but then they'll cool down as we head into the evening. Now, current wind gusts, again, wind gusts from 40 to 50 miles an hour. We've been seeing that all day, and that's what's causing the risk for that fire weather. Here's that dry line once again. It hasn't passed over I-35 just yet, but very dry conditions out west in Woodward and Eden. Now, here's your fire danger forecast. So this is the dew point. This is your humidity percentage. Norman, 10% humidity. But as we head throughout the evening, you can see that it starts to ramp up. So it's going to be a lot more humid as we head into tomorrow. But then as we look to our fire danger, again, all of these conditions create an extreme risk for fire weather out west. Now, this also includes a red flag warning for most of Oklahoma until 11 p.m. tonight, most of western Oklahoma, even some northern parts of the state as well. But it's springtime. We're talking about severe weather once again. This is going to affect mostly the eastern part of the state. You can see Tulsa in that slight risk for severe weather, but the big story is out in Arkansas. They saw a tornado over the weekend, and they are at risk for severe weather once again. Now, looking at what we would see with these storms, you can see that the damaging wind zone, Norman is included in this damaging wind zone. That's 5%. And then looking at our hail zone, we shouldn't be too worried about hail here in Norman. This is going to be overnight tonight. But then that tornado zone, again, a big chance for tornadoes in that same area that was struck by a tornado just a couple of days ago. So looking at that future cast, see not much going on here in Oklahoma, but all of that rain is going to be pushing out into the eastern part of, some eastern parts of Oklahoma, but mostly Arkansas. And then looking at our night tonight, like I said, temperatures are going to rise up just a bit, getting to 84 by 4 p.m., but then we're going to cool back down into the 70s as we head throughout the rest of the night. Now, those temperatures and those winds are going to continue to decrease as we head throughout this evening. Highs tomorrow, a little bit cooler than normal, 58 here in Norman, 58 in Oklahoma City. And then as we look at our 7-day forecast, our temperatures are just going to continue to increase as we head throughout the rest of the week and into next week. It's going to be beautiful. Ladies, back to you.
Thanks, Catherine. And 4 vendors have joined forces to sue Twitter for allegedly not paying tens of thousands of dollars in overdue bills. The class action lawsuit filed in Northern California this morning refers to the companies as being small businesses without the resources, time, and money to litigate these claims on their own. The outstanding bills range from $40,000 to $140,000. This adds to the list of legal actions Twitter is facing since Elon Musk bought it last year.
And the Texas series might be over, but OU softball is still winning days after.
Zoe Watson is here to break it all down for us in sports.
I'll tell you which OU softball stars are adding more hardware to their trophy case and who both gymnastics teams face as they continue their quest to the national title. Hello, I'm Zoe Watson, and it's time for sports. OU men's basketball season may be over, but they are still making headlines. The Oklahoma men's basketball could lose another player to the transfer portal. Senior forward Jayden announced that he was entering the portal on Monday, and he joins Benny Schroeder, Bijan Cortez, and CJ Nolan in the transfer portal. And Oklahoma softball swept this week's Big 12 Conference weekly honors after sweeping Texas this weekend. Tiare Jennings is not only the Big 12 Player of the Week, she was named the NFCA National Player of the Week. Jordy Ball won Big 12 Pitcher of the Week after picking up 2 wins in the Texas series. After dominating the Norman Regional, Oklahoma Women's Gymnastics is set to compete in the Women's Gymnastics NCAA semifinal on April 13th, Thursday in Fort Worth. They will face UCLA, Utah, and Kentucky. The second-ranked Oklahoma men's gymnastics team will be the number 2 seed in the NCAA championship. The Sooners are set to face Michigan, Penn State, Ohio State, California, and Springfield on April 14th. OU baseball took a tough loss to Stanford on Sunday afternoon, but look to bounce back tonight as they face Oral Roberts in Tulsa. The Golden Eagles have won 5 straight games and 10 of their last 11. The first pitch is at 6 p.m. And new faces have arrived to the Oklahoma football team this spring. According to the depth chart, Indiana transfer Dasan McCullough is now a first-string linebacker for the Sooners, and he admires Brent Venables' attention to detail.
It's a difference between the types of jobs I was doing here and at Indiana, so really just learning those jobs and learning how Coach V wants us to read a defense or how he wants us to maybe disguise coverages. It's just a big difference. So, you know, with a coach like that knows so much and he's a perfectionist, you know, it just makes you be really tight on your details.
The Thunder is hoping to keep their playoff chances alive in a very close NBA Western Conference standings. The Dallas Mavericks are only 1 game behind. The Thunder is focused on getting wins when it counts.
I wouldn't say feel the pressure, but it's definitely something that, you know, we have an eye on and we're aware of. You know, we're going out there to win every game and, you know, playing our hardest because, you know, we want it. We want to be in the play-in. We want to win games.
The Thunder face the Golden State Warriors tonight in San Francisco as they hope to stay in playoff contention. Dana Cameron, back to you.
Thanks, Zoe. And are you planning a summer vacation with friends? Well, you might want to hear about this one.
Coming up, we'll tell you how one airline is offering free flights. Southwest Airlines is bringing back its Companion Pass. This pass allows travelers to bring one person to fly with them for free.
And if you are a member of Southwest's frequent flyer program, you are eligible to register. The first step is to purchase a ticket by Wednesday evening, and it has to be for a flight before May 24th.
The Buddy Pass will work on as many flights as they want between August 15th and September 30th. Now, I know you're going somewhere this weekend, Dana, but I'm staying right here in Norman, so I kind of want to know what the weather's going to be like.
That's right. Let's check in with Captain Liberta, our meteorologist, for the rest of this week's forecast.
That's right, Dana and Cameron. If you're staying here in Norman tonight, you shouldn't be too worried about our two big stories that we've been talking about, fire danger and severe weather. The risk for fire danger looks like it's going to stay just west of I-35, so we shouldn't be too worried about it here in Norman tonight. But if you are eastward of I-35, you're going to have to look out for some severe weather. It's going to stick towards the eastern part of the state. Big risks out in Arkansas. And looking at the rest of our week, it looks like it's going to be beautiful. 60s Thursday and Friday, and then it's going to jump up into the 80s next week. Dana and Cameron, back to you.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Cameron Joyner.
And I'm Dana Searles. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.